Today I've got my hands on the brand new Retrax EQ tonneau cover. We're going to dive into its capabilities and I'm going to show you how to install it. Starting out, this is a full electric cover and you can actually program your factory key fob to control the opening and closing. So when you hit this guy 3 times, it will open the cover. When you hit the lock button 3 times, it will automatically close. As you guys know, we live in a digital world, so there is a Retrax app where you can open and close your cover. You want to bring up your Retrax app once you've got it programmed to your truck, and then we're going to just simply hit close, and this is going to close the cover. Now when you're ready to open it, you just hit the open button, and then the cover will begin to open. All right, so that's not the only feature that this comes with. This actually allows you to open your tailgate with your phone. So if you hold down the tailgate button, it opens the tailgate. And the last feature that this has, it also allows you to unlock and lock your doors. So if I hit the unlock button, it unlocks the door. While it really is nice having those features on your phone, I'll probably personally just stick with using the key fob, but you do have that option and it is available with this cover. Another additional option you have to open and close the cover is this wireless keypad. After this is programmed to open the cover, you type in your access code and then hit the 1 and 2 button. And now the cover will open with the keypad. And when you're ready to close the cover with the keypad, you just type it in again and then hit the 9 and the 0. And then the cover will close. This wireless keypad has an adhesive, so you could potentially stick it right there if you wanted to. I personally don't want to adhere that keypad to my truck, so I'm just going to use the key fob and the app for now. Let's check out this T-slot. It goes all the way down on both sides of the cover. What this allows for is if you want to add accessories, possibly like a ladder rack. If you don't want to use this slot, it actually came with this little rubber piece that goes all the way down the track, and then you can decide later if you want to add something. So I'm going to leave this off right now because I might add an accessory later on. All right guys, now I want to show you a really cool feature. It's called the clinch mode. So I'm going to hit this lock button 3 times. And once it starts going, it's going to go until it hits this box, and then it's going to stop and go back a few inches. And once it goes back, now you want to hit the lock button 3 more times. Once that stops, whatever you have back there you don't want rolling around, it will keep it in place. If you do need to open this cover manually, maybe your wife accidentally locks you in the back of your truck, there's a little piece right here and you'll twist that and then you'll just start pushing it and you can manually move the cover. So that's definitely a good safety feature if you're a married man. This piece right here is actually on both sides, and that's what the cover clicks into. And it actually opens and closes on this track right inside here. So if you want to switch back to the electric option, you would just slide this right back into place until it clicks into these 2 side pieces. If for some reason the tracks actually get off, there is a way to calibrate this cover. You want to use the manual release, which there's actually a little cable right here on the side you can use, and then you want to run the tracks all the way and close them with the lock button 3 times. And once those tracks get all the way back, now you simply want to open the cover, hit the unlock 3 times, and then they will start to move their way back and it will lock into place with the cover. And now the calibration process is complete. I want to show you with this canister, you have about a 13-inch clearance from the canister to the truck bed. All right, as far as bed length from the cover to the tailgate, you're sitting right about 4 foot 5 inches. This cover does come with a light on the driver's side. You do have the option to purchase one for the passenger side. So I'll show you that later on when it gets dark and let you decide if you would need that extra light. Now that it's nighttime, let's see how much light you get inside the bed. When you first open the cover, this light comes on and also the bed lights come on that are built into the truck. But when they cut off, you can see that you really don't lose that much light. So this one LED that comes with the cover actually does illuminate the bed pretty well. There is one other thing that you do need to know about this cover. When you're opening it and closing it, it does creak a little bit, but it's not a huge deal. It's not crazy loud or anything. I think it just probably needs to get broke in a little bit. That's just something that I did want you to be aware of. Here's a side view, back view, and here's an up close view. Now let's get to the install. First step in the process is to remove these shipping brackets and then set them aside for later. Next, we're going to attach the side brackets to the canister. So we want to take this cable and slide it in that track right there. Make sure you see it in that groove as you continue to slide it into place. So once you get that lined up, you want to take your bolt and slide it through the back side, and then you want to take this cover and lift it up to go inside the actual track. And now you should be good to tighten down the actual bolt. Now we're going to take the passenger side canister water shield and install that just like this, sliding that way, and then take your nut and slide that on. Tighten that nut down with a 10mm socket and a T25 Torx bit. And this is about what it would look like on the top. Once you've got that tightened all the way, you want to take a bolt right here and another bolt right here and go ahead and tighten those up. Once you get all the bolts snug, you want to torque this one down to 15 inch-pounds, and then you want to torque these two down to 35 inch-pounds. All right, guys, now we're going to do the exact same thing for the driver's side. Take this, run it through that track, make sure everything lines up correctly, and then run your bolt right through that hole. Then take the driver's side canister water shield and slide that on the bolt, and then grab your nut. Go ahead and tighten that up, and then go ahead and thread those screws through. Now you want to take the connection that goes to the driver's side light and plug that in. And then for the excess cable, you just want to take some tie wraps and neatly secure that. So I'm going to put one right here, and then I'll stick one right here. And then I'll take the rest of it and bundle it up and use a tie wrap here, and then one more tie wrap right here. Once you're done with the tie wraps, you can actually take this cable and slide it right there in between that plastic piece, and then you can also take it right here where that plastic piece is. All right, so that's how it should look. So now it's time to install it in the truck. For the main wiring connection, I'm gonna run it right through this hole on the passenger side, straight to the battery. Once this cable reaches down here, I actually tied off to right there, and then I ran it above this with some tie wraps and continued going this way. Once I got through here, I actually tied off right here, and then I tied off again here, and then I went above that, and then I continued to tie off right through here, and then the wire ends up coming right here to the front fender well. Then you'll want to pull this fender liner back and run it straight up to the battery. At the battery connections, I connected it to the negative side and then right here on the positive side. For right now, I took the fuse out until I'm ready to test it. Now it's time to lift the cover up into the truck bed. Make sure when you're positioning it, you leave yourself enough room to make the proper connections on the back of the canister. You definitely need two people to get that cover on there. That sucker is heavy. I'm gonna climb inside the bed and get all the wires tidied up and make the proper connections. Now that you have it in the truck bed, you can go ahead and peel off the protective coating on the canister. Take that main cable that you ran to the battery and connect it to the cover module, and then take the red tab and push it forward. I took the rest of the excess cable, bundled it up, and used some tie wraps to secure it to the canister. Now that I've got those connections made, just go ahead and check this right here, this little rubber seal, and trim if you need to. When you're deciding on where to run your drain tube, There's actually one little hole down there at the bottom of the bed, but the hole was too small for this drain tube. So I just kind of invented something. So let me show you how I did that right now. So this is everything that you'll need in order to make this work. You've got your drain tube that comes with the cover, and then I found this 1/2-inch irrigation pipe, and you'll screw that into this little barrel. I've got this 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch that's going to screw right into here, and that will make our conversion that we need. We've got our 1/4 inch drain pipe that will then connect into this guy. So first I'm going to attach the drain tube to this guy right here. So I'm going to put this in the vise and then connect the drain tube. Now that that's connected, I'm going to screw this piece on right here. Now you can connect your 1/4 inch drain tube. And now we're all set. We can go ahead and connect the drain tube. Twist it clockwise until you hear it click twice. Now just run that 1/4 inch drain hose right down through this hole. And this is a perfect solution if you don't want to drill any other holes in your truck. You can see on the driver's side, this is where the tube comes down. So I'm actually going to tie off with a tie wrap right here. Now you can just take the excess and cut it exactly where you want it. You can see right up here, that's the hole and where the drain comes down on the passenger side. So I just ran that tube right over here, and then it ends up coming down. So I'm also going to tie right up there where I tied the wire and let it drain out right there. If you want this set up and you have a rubber bed mat, you will have to make a slight adjustment. All I did was notched me out a little piece in order for that to fit right in between it. Now it's time to grab this shipping spacer, and you want to close the tailgate. You want to take this right here, slide this rail back until there's a 1/8 inch gap. Now it's time to install the bracket, so go ahead and grab you one, and you want to put it right here in between these little white pieces. Now you want to snug that up with a 9/16 socket. Make sure you press firmly down on the bed rail while you do that. Same thing on this back one. You want to put that bracket in between those two white screws. All right, same thing on this side. Go ahead and put your brackets on and snug them up, and then we'll make sure with a tape measure that they're parallel and even. All right, take your tape measure, make sure that this measurement is the same as that measurement. So for this one, we're right at 58.5 inches. So let me check the back. That measurement was 58 5/8, so I'm gonna actually adjust these a little bit so I can make sure that the tracks are perfectly lined up. In order to make this correct, you have to adjust these little white pieces right here until they are even on both sides. Now I'm gonna tighten them back up and recheck it. All right, now we're sitting at 58 5/8 on the back, so we should be pretty good to go. So now we want to tighten this bolt up, and we want a 2-degree tilt. So the best thing I found to do was grab your iPhone and bring up the level app, and so that's about 2 degrees. So now we're at 0 degrees. So that's all you want to do. You just want to tighten it up and give a little bit of bend to it. So now you want to take this jam nut and screw that to where this bolt won't move. It's time to grab the DS4 cabin module and get it connected inside the truck. For this installation, I've got the push to start, so you will not need this gray adapter. The connections you're looking for are under the dash on the driver's side. Make sure you're careful when you pull the connectors out because you don't want to pull any of the pins loose. They've made this really easy. All the connectors are color coordinated. Take the connectors from the cabin module and then plug them where the factory cables went. Make sure you get the correct colors in the right slot. That's definitely something you don't want to mix up. Now you want to take your factory connections and connect them into the harness that goes to the cabin module. Again, make sure you match up the colors properly. I was looking for a place for this cabin module to live, and I peeled back the carpet, and this looks like the perfect spot. So now I'm going to go ahead and tidy up all the cables. All right, guys, well, everything ended up right here with all the tie wraps, and everything fits pretty perfect. Just make sure when you're using your tie wraps, don't pull them too tight. You want to leave them a little loose. You don't want to accidentally pull one of these pins out of the connector. That ended up being the perfect location for that controller. There was no problem popping this back. We're done installing the cover in the truck and the cabin module, so bring up the Retrac app and follow the on-screen instructions in order to connect the cabin module and the cover module to your truck. Once you're done following the instructions on the Retrac installer app, bring up the Retrax app. This is going to allow you to connect your phone to the cover, and it's going to allow you to connect your optional keypad. The last step in the process of installing this cover, and it's a very important step. You have now got to take your wife to get her flowers and take her out to a really nice dinner because she has just allowed you to buy one of the nicest covers on the market. Well, if you're in the market for an electric cover, this guy has it all. It's sleek, it's stylish, and it has tons of capabilities. All right, guys, well, that pretty much covers it. I want to thank Retract for sending this amazing product out for me to show it to you guys. And if you like the video, make sure you hit the thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and do so. Until next time, see y'all.